Switching gears now to Britain, and Prime Minister Theresa May giving a statement on the Brexit negotiations after some confusion, saying the cabinet backs a draft Brexit deal and is set to make an additional statement on Thursday. She said it would give the UK control of its borders, laws and jobs, but Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn strongly opposing May, saying that the UK would be stuck in, quote, an indefinite halfway house without any real say over the rules. Joining me now is UK political consultant David Mencer. Thank you very much, David, for joining me for this morning. David, as I began to mention, the Labour Party said it will announce later whether or not it will back that agreement, but we know Jeremy Corbyn's position on this. Is there any chance that the Labour Party might surprise us all and back this agreement?
I think if they did back the agreement, it would be a big surprise, because all the noise they've been making up until this point, from the Shadow Foreign Secretary Emily Thornberry on Sunday, and all the indications coming from Jeremy Corbyn himself, is that they will not back this deal. That leaves Theresa May in a very, very difficult situation. She has a real problem holding her government together and getting this through Parliament. So it does really put Theresa May in a very tough situation.
And of course, it's a tough situation because Brexiteers worry that they will be tied to EU rules for many years to come. Do they have real reason for concern, considering the agreement at hand?
Well, look, they have a huge reason to concern, because Brexit is like a divorce. It's a fantastic analogy. And this divorce is, imagine if you want to get divorced from your wife and you look over and choose a solicitor who is actually your mother-in-law. You know, Theresa May never voted for Brexit. She was never an advocate for Brexit. Even through this whole 2-year process since the referendum, she has never advocated strongly for it. It's sort of like a duty that she's doing. She doesn't believe in this project. She's trying to get the best out of a bad job. And that's what she's done. There were 5 hours of discussions yesterday, almost half the cabinet saying that they had real concerns about this deal. But she's done something amazing, which perhaps only she can do in the British government right now. And she has held it together. Now, the real question looking forward now is whether this can get through Parliament, because all the indications are that the Labour Party will put their own preference for a general election and to sweep them into power rather than the actual good of the country. So, and there's a question whether the British people will forgive them for that, because they'll see this quite clearly. They'll see, will Jeremy Corbyn act what is in essentially the best interest of the country, or will they throw the country into turmoil in a general election with this 29th of March 2019 date looming, and all the uncertainty which would cause on financial markets. So it's very, very exciting to see what will happen in Britain today.
And another question looking forward, of course, Brexit negotiations have led to shake-ups and controversy in the government before. Is it likely that we'll see more resignations as this agreement moves forward?
I think what's happened right now is that they've had this thing called collective responsibility, which is a British cabinet notion whereby if you agree to it in the cabinet, then you have to agree to it on the outside as well. Now, there was also that case, of course, after the Chequers agreement just a few months ago before the summer, where there was agreement after the meeting and then ministers resigned afterwards. Now, just watching and listening to the British media right now, British media are urging people that are thinking of resigning to get on the phone and resign this morning. It hasn't happened yet, and as time goes on, as the hours go by, as she is able to stand in front of Parliament later this morning and speak to members of Parliament, her situation becomes safer and safer and safer. And actually, looking at it in a pragmatic way, this does look like the best deal in town. It's a bad deal. It makes no one happy. It's a classic British fudge, absolutely classic British fudge. No one is content with this, but it might be the best way forward.
And we are closely following this British fudge throughout the day today. David Mencer, thank you very much for joining me.